Welcome to Duo Chat with Brittany
and Cynthia, where we talk about drama shows
like Dawson's Creek, One Tree Hill, and more.
Hi everyone, I'm Brittany.
And I'm Cynthia.
And today we're talking about Season 7, Episode 13, titled Weeks Go By Like Days. Air date January 18th, 2010. And the synopsis is
Haley's tour comes to an end. Quinn gets her divorce from David. Millicent appears in court for her DUI, where Victoria offers her a job as her assistant at Close Over Bros. Brooke finds it hard to trust Julian when Alex is always by his side and ends up turning to Alexander. Elsewhere, Taylor turns up in Tree Hill with David, who is now her boyfriend. Meanwhile, Malk returns from LA. So Haley, Nathan, and Jamie are in the group, huddled up, right before Haley goes on stage. And then it was cute how Jamie reminded Haley that they're in Cleveland when she talks to the crowd.
I know, as if she wouldn't know.
Well, some people do make that mistake. I've seen that before.
Well, yeah, but I wouldn't think that Haley would, because she's like really smart. Like Nathan probably would.
Yeah.
But not her.
Mm-hmm. And then Haley struts the stage, very confident in her outfit and sunglasses, and starts singing. Meanwhile, Brooke is having a presentation for her new men's line and introduces her new creative consultant and co-designer, Alexander Quinn. Then we see some illustrations that feels like a reminder of Peyton's art, but is actually storyboards of Julian and Alex's movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then, meanwhile, Alex is in therapy after her attempt, and she says she's doing better than yesterday, even though she's crying a bit. And then elsewhere, Millie is in a dark room.
At least she's in therapy, like, so we're seeing a different side, like she's trying to get better.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, she could, like, in this moment, be like Millie still, and still continue to go down that road.
Yeah. And then this was kind of a cool transition when Millie was watching the TV, because she's like watching some movie that's on the beach, and then we see like zoom in on the screen, and then it's just Clay and Quinn at the beach.
Yeah, that was cool.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, Quinn's just there. And then meanwhile, Clay is trying to get a new client, and then we go back to Haley. She's still performing. And we see like a little montage of the family on tour, since we didn't really see that.
I will say I loved watching Nathan and Jamie with Haley on tour. Because I mean, we didn't get to watch Nathan and Haley previously, so it was nice that like it can work out. Like they showed us it can work out as long as you guys want it to.
Yeah. And then we get home, and Haley goes to the mail. She was gone for 6 weeks. Then Jamie is showing Quinn the photo album of pictures they took while on tour. And then he jokes that he did the real work as a roadie.
And then Quinn gets her divorce papers.
Yeah.
Which, okay, did you like her reaction? It was kind of like, oh. And I'm like, but why is it people always do this on TV shows? Like, they get the divorce papers, and they're like, oh. Like, trying to reconsider. I'm like, yeah, already signed you, and now it's like, oh, now all of a sudden it's real. It's been real. Like, you wanted this, so I don't understand why she's all. It's like, oh, like another one of these, like, shows doing the so sad about divorce. It's like, yeah, except for you wanted this, so can't really feel sorry for you.
Well, seeing the papers just makes it feel more real,
I know, but it's been real, and he has tried to get back together. She's the one that was like, no, we're done. So it's like, I don't understand why, especially given how she's been with Clay, like all happy, like why bring the past? And I just move on. Like, this is what you wanted. Now you're with Clay, you're happy. Just let it go. That's what I get.
Yeah, she's probably just still sad that it didn't work out.
But they do this on every TV show when they get a divorce. It's like, come on. It's so stupid.
Well, then we see Victoria has a new assistant that used to be Brooke's assistant.
Is she, so do you think maybe she's just the assistant for maybe the store? And so Victoria's like, I'll use you. Like,
Maybe, yeah. And then she made her coffee wrong because Victoria spits it back out in the cup. And then, of course, Victoria doesn't even know her name.
oh, and then, yeah, she says her name's Calliope and she goes, God bless you. What?
Yeah. And then she basically tells her to do what Millie used to do, basically, and like answer the phone. But before she does, she thinks it's giving her a note, so she's writing it down instead of actually answering the phone. So Victoria has to tell her to actually do that. And then that's when the caller asks for Millie, so Calliope tells her she doesn't work there anymore. And then that's when we see Millie in court for her drunk driving. And of course, the judge is being stern with her, as he should be.
Yeah, it was bad.
And then mentions how she's been fired recently, so she doesn't have a job. But that's when Victoria walks in and interrupts and tells the judge that Millie doesn't have a job with her. And that's when we segue to Brooke telling Alexander that he works for her.
Aren't you surprised that Victoria did that?
Yeah.
Like, she is the person that did call to get her arrested. So then she's going to go to court, but she works for me. Like, what? Like, okay. Also, how do you know that she is ready to move on? You know what I mean? Like, she could be let out and then continue to do this. So how do you know she's ready? Like, it's not like she called and said, Victoria, I am ready. Like, I will do whatever it takes. But she didn't do any of this. So how do you know she's ready? It was just like, Victoria, really? Like, yeah, I have gotten soft.
Yeah, I was surprised she was just able to walk in like that.
Yeah, I'm surprised they weren't like, who are you?
And then, yeah, so with Alexander and Brooke, they're talking about how, you know, the boy likes him more, and Brooke just says that they like his track record of making them a lot of money. And then that's when they ran to Julian, and then Alexander introduces himself to Julian, and Brooke mentions,
they mention how it's been 6 weeks.
Yep, since they saw each other. And she assumes that he's there for her, but Julian says, no, he's not. He's actually there for Alex, who comes walking up. And then she just tells Julian bye and walks away. And then Quinn is showing Haley that the bed is safe. There's no spiders or anything in it. And Haley is just anxious because she hasn't been there for a while. And apparently there was a time when they were kids at sleepaway camp when there was a spider in the bed. And then, you know, Quinn says she missed her favorite baby sis. So, did we talk about how Quinn is the oldest out of the three, right? So Taylor's in the middle, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about how we guessed it. Like, she is the old, because we always said, like, it seems like she's the older one, but we never really could place her where. And I always said it definitely seemed like she was the oldest. Even though sometimes Taylor acts like the oldest.
Yeah, so this confirms that finally. And then they talk about the divorce papers. And Haley asks if she's okay. And Quinn said she's been divorced for a while now. The paper just makes it official. And then Haley tells her Clay probably makes it easier too. And Quinn says they're good. She just hasn't seen him in a couple of weeks because he's been out scouting for new clients.
Yeah, because he doesn't have a job at that place anymore.
And then, yeah, so she just is showing that she really likes him. And then with Haley teasing her, Quinn hits her with the pillow, and then to get her back, she tells Haley good luck with the black widow she saw on the pillow that she just threw at her. So Haley immediately gets off the bed, freaking out. And then outside the courthouse, Millie knows Victoria never does anything without a catch.
Yep.
So she asks what she wants, and Victoria asks, if saying anything, if that means thank you, and Coke, she said Coke Horland, is that a thank you? And she said she knows about a little habit, her sad little compulsion to also take dresses that don't belong to her. And she asks Millie if she's still using. Millie says she hasn't today.
Yeah. And then she's like, no, we're not yet. And she's like, are we done here?
Yeah.
That was funny.
And so Victoria just keeps going on about that, making comments.
Yeah, she said you must have mirrors to clean.
Yeah. and then tells her she meant what she said in court. She can come back to Close Over Bros as her assistant, of course, not as a model. And Millie asks, why would she help her? And Victoria answers because she clearly needs it. And, to take the second chance, she's giving her seriously.
Which she does, because Brooke was like, not handling you anymore, like done with you.
So, do you think that Victoria is giving Millie a second chance like this because she knew her before this drug problem of hers started versus Rachel, how she just wanted to cut her out because she didn't know who Rachel was before?
Yeah, and I do think Rachel liked that Brooke was, rich and popular, where she could use the advantage of it, where Millie wasn't.
Yeah, just taking the chances.
Yeah. Right. She just got stuck in that world. She doesn't belong in the world. She just, got stuck there, where Rachel, you could see her in the world, of like having that privilege, where Millie's like, no, like I'll always be that assistant. So, yeah, I think because they're totally different people. Yeah. And also, I think because she don't like Calliope, so she really wants Millie.
Right, yeah.
I think that's also what it comes down to.
Yeah, which is funny because she also hated Millie at the beginning. And then the boys are about to leave, but Jamie had to grab the tour bus book to show Chuck and his other friends. And he kind of brags, like he bets they never even seen a tour bus before. Then, as they're about to walk out the door, Clay shows up, and Jamie tells him he'll tell him about his mom's tour later. Yeah, so I do really love how Jamie is into Haley's career as much as he was into Nathan's,
Yeah, because I think we were always worried, like, oh, is he going to be as excited about Haley as he is about Nathan? Because Nathan is definitely his hero. So it was like, you do know your mom is pretty cool too.
Right.
But the thing is, he never got to see it. Like, he was born into Nathan's career. I mean, Nathan had that, where Haley took the back seat.
It was teaching.
And so, right. So that's not as cool as, your mom being a singer. So like, yeah, so now he gets to see how cool she is, and now he's believing it.
And then Clay is there so he can deliver the endorsement contracts in person to Nathan. And then Quinn walks over and greets Clay being back home. And Nathan kind of awkwardly looks at them, still getting used to them as a couple.
Yeah, so this was so awkward between these two.
And then at Close Over Bros, Alexander tells Brooke they should celebrate. He has champagne, but Brooke tells him, Brooke tells him that she's more of a vodka girl, and they have work to do anyways. Alexander wants to take a break. They've been at it for 6 weeks, and the boy loved the pitch so much. And then he just like tells her to smile and drink 1 sip of champagne at least, and Brooke gives him that, except her one sip is the whole glass. And then tells him to pour her another one. And then that's when he asks about Julian and the hot girl. So, of course, Brooke doesn't like to hear Alex is the hot girl.
Well, and she don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. And, Alexander goes on to say, like, they've been working together for a while, but he doesn't really know her. And he talks about his girlfriends all the time. So,
probably because that's all he's talking about, where she is like, this is a business. We're doing, like, this is work time, and I don't talk about my personal life because, I'm like head of the company, and like, why would I? So I get that. Like, you're at work. Like, if you want to tell about your life, then that's on you. But like, I'm not going to. So I definitely respect her in that way, and I get it.
Yeah, and the way he said
she wasn't sitting there like questioning him, like, how many girlfriends have you had? Like, she wasn't asking, he was giving the information.
Yeah, because with him saying he talks about his girlfriend all the time, that was kind of going over the line from professional to something more, because coworkers usually don't, talk about relationships as a small talk kind of thing.
Well, I thought it was funny though when she said, I would hardly call your one night stands girlfriends.
And then, yeah, so he says that, he gets sex, he wants to work and not talk, but he gets how she doesn't like, talking about guys especially, and that's how the whole proposal of the bill is going to be. And he knows it's not his place and her work should be her passion. And he says maybe, it should be a place to not hide, just when they love sex. It's like, just being something she loves to do, something that makes her happy and not just something to hide under. And then Brooke does say that her second love life did make her a very rich girl. So there's that. Rich enough to afford him. So he tells her to earn his keep, and he says, "Whatever you say, boss," and she likes the sound of that. And then he tells her Julian is a fool, the second love life guy. What kind of idiot treats Brooke Davis poorly? And we know another guy on that list that did. And then Alex gets back to her hotel room, telling Julian, he's been sweet to her and giving her the first class treatment and everything. He says he just needs her rested and ready to shoot next week.
So does she still have the same hotel room?
Yeah, so I mentioned that many episodes ago, like how long is she supposed to be here? Because that has to be a lot of money by now.
But that was one thing because she was there every day, but then she went to like rehab.
Mm-hmm.
So you would think that you wouldn't be paying for the hotel room while she's in rehab. I mean,
right.
So then she comes back to the same room, like.
I guess if Brooke maybe was still paying for it, which I don't know why she would, but
I don't think she would, unless every hotel room looks like that.
Mm-hmm. And then Alex remembers what Millie told her about chasing Julian, who doesn't want her. And, because Julian's trying to make sure she's all set and good. So she just says she's fine. She'll, he can go. And then he notices her scars are showing. So she pulls down her sleeves of the sweater to cover them. And he apologizes for looking at them. And she says no more talking about her. Then Job says she used to be self-centered. And Julian says he never noticed and to call him if she needs anything. And then the second he walks out, her smile drops and she calls McKenna to see where the next party is.
Yep, so then it looks like, she's going back to the same old Alex.
Mm-hmm. And then Jamie is near the river telling Chuck, Madison, Andre.
Oh my God, I loved that Andre was there. I was like, because remember we thought he was over with, but nope, he's still there. Like they definitely are throwing him in when they feel like it.
Mm-hmm. And of course the kids are overhearing about it because he's already told them about the tour 3 other times.
Yep, they're like, move on, what about us?
Mm-hmm. And they have to go to karate practice. And then Madison makes sure to tell Jamie that she's glad he's back.
I think it's also hard if you didn't ask the person. Like they're just, I'm gonna tell you, blah, blah. And it's like, did I ask? Because obviously if you ask, then you somewhat care. But like, if they didn't ask and he's just telling them over and over, it's like, come on. Like, we heard it enough. Where if they had asked, then it's like, okay. But I don't know. It definitely, you're definitely in a different category if you're just going on about it, like,
mm-hmm.
thinking you have like the better life.
Right.
Kind of like Nathan.
Mm-hmm. And then Julian walks into a store telling Brooke, welcome back. It would have been nice to hear, something from her, call, email about coming back. And she reminds him that they were taking some time apart. And he says, yeah, but, he backed off for 6 weeks now, but they need to talk. And they need to figure out some things. And if this is about her not being able to help kids, they should talk about it. And Brooke says, like Alex, and she asks, how she's doing. She seems to be better. And he said he wanted to save her like he couldn't save his mom. We don't get much backstory on that later on, just that mentioned really. Even when she is brought to the show, they never touch on that again.
Yeah. At least what I can remember.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, but either way, I feel like when he said, he wanted to save Alex, she must have remembered how Lucas would always be saving Peyton,
Well, yeah, and how they were in a relationship, and that's the whole thing. Is this whole episode of like how Jillian's like all you like this is basically on you, like why we're not together, and it's like no, it has everything to do with the fact that you are still bringing Alex around, like the person that she basically said keep out. He just keeps putting back in her face, like what? Like, I don't like Julian in this episode of how he's treating Brooke, because it's like, really? I mean, I hate that.
Yeah.
Because like you just said, Lucas was saving Peyton while they were together. It's like, so how can she move forward with him remembering her past? It's the same thing again.
Yeah, I don't like when he said that how Brooke showed up in town with some other guy, like they're playing a game.
Yeah, like what? And she goes, no, he's like working for him. It's like, and also, what does that matter? It's been 6 weeks.
And he thought like she purposely found him just because his name is Alexander, like another Alex too. That made me mad.
Yeah, I'm like, so his name is Alexander. Wow. Like, there are people with that name, and it's a very common name.
Yeah, so Brooke had to tell that Victoria hired him, not her, you know.
But also, what does that matter? It's been 6 weeks. They're not together. So what does it matter? If she wants to go and sleep with any guy named Alex, guess what? That's for her. Like, you're not together. What does it matter? I hate that.
Yeah, either way, Julian takes this as it's just over.
Yeah, whatever. Then bye. That's what Brooke should have said.
Yeah, so Brooke just says that this hasn't been easy for her, and Julian gets mad how she's never said it to him. And she starts saying she tried, but then just says she can't do this. She has work to do.
He's so annoying.
Yeah, and then he's like, you know, right, clothes over bros, meaning, you know, she chooses the clothes over him.
She wouldn't have if he would just knock this Alex crap off and showing it in her face all the time.
And then Nathan asks Jamie what happened to his friends, and Jamie says he tried to tell them about his summer, but they shut him down. That's when Nathan asks, you know, if he asks what they did for their summers, and Jamie says he doesn't know.
Yep, he says, didn't ask.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, you need to do that. I did like how Nathan brought up, like, you know, like I wouldn't have my career and everything if it wouldn't mean anything if if it wasn't for my friends, who basically I can come back to and everything. And I'm like, yep, that's true.
Yeah, so I like how Nathan humbled him a little bit. Because
otherwise you're gonna live like Alex, where look at me, but it's like, but do you have friends? Do you have family? No. So then what does success really mean then? So I was happy that he said that. But then they had to throw in a little joke by having Jamie ask Nathan, has Uncle Skills always been bald?
Right, yeah, when he says he's had him for most of his life, his friend, yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah, so he just teaches him that lesson that no matter how much stuff, you know, he has to do at school, and then it matters about his friends. And then Haley goes to see Brooke at the store. She gets Brooke tickets to her next show. And that's what's been going on. And Brooke says it's, you know, with her and Julian, she thought this time apart was going to help them, but she feels stuck. And Haley, you know, assures Brooke that Julian loves her and she loves him, and that's a good place to be stuck at. But she doesn't know the whole story. It's not that simple. But Brooke says, you know, it's also about the thing with Alex. And she asks Haley if she's ever doubted Nathan, even for a second, during the mess with Renee. So Haley tells her she's not part of it, but she did. And he kept telling her the whole time it meant nothing. It was nothing. And in the end, it was nothing. And Brooke says, yeah, but, you know, you're Nathan and Haley. And Haley tells Brooke she knows Chris has always been part for her. But Alex isn't Julian, and Julian isn't Lucas, even though it's kind of similar to yeah. So that's why I'm like, Haley doesn't know the whole story, the whole picture there. So.
Well, and also, like, how many times do you, like, okay, if you're in a relationship, you do not go to the opposite sex and keep trying to save them. Like, it's a cry for help. You know, this person likes you. Like, come on now. Just, you know what I mean? Like, he was trying to be the hero. Well, he's trying to be the hero with the wrong person. So, you know, and he's still not getting it through his brain. So that's the other issue. Also, like, too, you know, my thing is, too, would he really want this? Like, would he really be okay if Brooke was doing the same thing with somebody else? Like, always going, oh, you know, I'm with you right now, but oh wait, he just texted me, he just called me, I have to go save him. Like, would he really stand by that?
No, he already doesn't
No.
feel working with Alexander, so.
Right. And they're not even together. Like, think if
Mhm.
he was on a date with her and she was like, oh, Alexander's calling. Oh, he really needs me right now. He wouldn't just call me unless he needed me. I mean, he would be like so upset. He would be yelling at probably her and Alexander. Like, come on now. Like, you would not like it if the roles were reversed. So get over yourself, Julian. That's the problem. It's like Julian is all about himself and he is turning into Alex by being all about himself. And he doesn't look at the other thing. All he's doing is throwing in Brooke's face is, so this is about you. No, it's actually not.
Right.
It's about you two.
Mm-hmm. Then at Clay's, Quinn tells him she's kind of nervous because she hasn't seen him in a while, and he gives her butterflies. And she hides herself behind a pillow on the couch like a little teenager. And Clay says he's nervous too, especially after the whole public declaration about falling insanely in love with her.
That was funny.
Yeah, and Clay admits that he thought it would freak her out, but Quinn says it was amazing and romantic. And it only freaked out a little just because it had the potential to be true. The Clay says it can take things slow, no pressure, no big public declarations anymore. They can have a small date, and then after the date, they can fall insanely in love. And then Julian ends up seeing Victoria at a bar, and he tells her Brooke and him are taking some time apart, and he doesn't need her pushing another guy in her. So again, he's assuming Alexander's there as a little pawn for a
Which
game.
is not. It's because of the new line that she's doing. Come on now.
Yeah.
You know, Victoria, she's all about business. She ain't about guys.
Mm-hmm. And Victoria actually admits that she likes Julian, but Brooke deserves to be with someone who has a good sense to want her over some no-talent actress.
I 100% agree with Victoria that Brooke deserves somebody that is fully invested in her and loves her and doesn't care about helping other girls. Like, I so agree with that.
And then Victoria says that she's seen Julian with Alex. He may not be interested in her, but he likes that she's interested in him.
Yep, and I think he likes it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
but she said, "Don't break my daughter's heart." I'm like, yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then I did not like when he said, "Well, her heart was already broken when I met her." Well, it wasn't just Victoria that broke her heart. It was Lucas, Peyton. Mm-hmm. I mean, there were her father. It's like other people have broken her heart. So, like, don't act like it was just Victoria, Julian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But he's got to do anything to throw it in someone else's face and blame someone else instead of just blaming himself. It's annoying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he claims he's been the one trying to mend it, and Victoria tells him
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, he's an idiot.
Yeah, so if he wants Brooke, then stand up and be the hero that he puts in all his movies for her.
Yep, fight for her. Yep, mm-hmm. I like that part.
Yeah. But Julian says he has, but he hasn't.
He said he's not the bad guy here. I don't know, looks like it.
Mm-hmm. And to tell Brooke that. Meanwhile, Alex goes to the party after all, having smoke blown in her face by McKenna, who jokes that she thought Alex had died or something.
Yeah, and then she's like, "Where's Millie?"
Mm-hmm.
So then you realize she's going there to save Millie.
Yeah, well, I also did like Alex's come back to McKenna saying, "No, that was your career that died." Yeah, so McKenna's just making jokes and being insensitive, and she finally does find Alex on the couch and grabbing her just in time before she was going to use again and taking her home because nobody did it for her.
But of course, she's just, screw you, Alex. It's like, oh my God, that's all that's
mm-hmm.
Like, sorry, Alex, you're trying.
Yeah. Yep, and then she charges into her room and slams the door like a teenager out of immaturity in this episode. Mm-hmm. And then Quinn is impressed with the food that Clay set out for their picnic date inside the house.
I thought they're supposed to go out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Remember they said that there's other more fun things out? Well, there is. So, like, why aren't you out there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Clay points out that he hasn't been home for a few weeks, so he doesn't really have that much food to use. And she tells him with this menu, he's not really going to get a first date kiss. And she asks if she really does that. And she says she never does. And then they're just, having fun teasing each other. And then they talk about, first date story. And that's when Quinn tells a story about Bobby Hobbs, how she was 7. and, giving her that note about will she be his girlfriend or not? Yes, no, or maybe. And Quinn says that she did check yes and then beat him in force and made him cry like a little girl.
So she's definitely the opposite of Haley, because remember, Haley was terrible at basketball. Remember, she couldn't make a hoop. It was terrified of like gym class, and it's like, and here Quinn was like little and beating the little boy
Right.
in horse. That was funny.
Then Clay mentions to him about, how things were awkward with Nathan around earlier. And Clay says he thinks it's best to keep things professional around him. And Quinn points out that he already told Nathan he planned on falling and seeing in love with her. And Clay says he doesn't want to just flaunt it in his face. It just feels weird. And yeah, so this is kind of like the reverse thing of how Lucas felt uncomfortable seeing Haley and Nathan together, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Nathan didn't say, I don't want to see it.
Right, yeah.
He hasn't said that yet, so.
Yeah, just both ends are making it awkward for each other, yeah.
Which I get it, because Clay is trying to slowly get back in Nathan's life. So, I get that part.
Yeah. And Quinn does point out that if they're going to date, they could date outside of the real world at the beach house. And then Alexander tells Brooke that he's going to go to his hotel and get some sleep unless she wants to get dinner and maybe review the designs. And Brooke says she can't because she has plans. And Alexander says, Brooke does more, does she, do more than just work and is actually full of surprises. And then Brooke reminds him of the conference call tomorrow, and she makes sure he calls her boss. And then he tells her that he knows he's there for the bros part, but he's also the listener if she ever needs it, to tell about the bros part. And that's when Victoria walks in. And Victoria tells Brooke Alexander seems interested in her, and Brooke tells her not to push it. It's just work between them. And Victoria tells her she doesn't want her to be with Alexander, and she just wants her to be happy.
Yeah, and she said, do you still love Julian? She said, of course. Then she said, I told him to fight for you today.
Yeah. And, she just says not to let this space be a long way to say goodbye.
I like when she said Victoria's getting soft. It was funny.
Yeah, and Victoria agrees and saying it's a tragedy. And then she says, speaking of tragedies, she saw Millicent today and offered her a job. And,
and then, that's when she said that she feels responsible because she called the cops that night. And she said, you weren't the one that made her drive drunk. Like, you might have saved someone's life by doing that. Right. And that is true. So she's right there.
Yeah, I just wish we could have seen the part where, because it seemed like Alex started driving first and then they switched seats. Does it seem like that way to you? Before they got caught?
I don't know. Kind of like, what was it, Nathan and Lucas doing it when they switched?
Yeah. I was wondering if Millie was actually driving or if she took the fall for Alex, but either way, she got in trouble. And they were both intoxicated, so it was a bad idea.
Yeah, either way, neither one of them should have been driving.
Yeah. And then that's when Millie walks out asking Alex why she's still there. And then Alexander's looking at a magazine and, I'm sorry, Alex, I forgot to work back in the apartment. Yeah, so Alex is still there reading the magazine because she's not leaving until they talk. And that's when Millie says she went to court today for the DUI. And, she snort powder up her nose, and now she's alone because Malcolm moved to LA and can't blame him because he's given her a million chances. So
exactly
that. And Alex tells her she never runs out of chances as long as she gives them, to herself. And Millie's just over it, asking what B movie is that from, thinking that Alex has no advice to give her. But Alex says she learned that from rehab. And Millie says, good for her, while she's a screwed up one. And Alex tries to tell her, she can be mean all she wants. She doesn't care. She's sane because she loves her and she's not giving up on her. And then that's when Millie starts crying, and tells Alex to stop being nice to her. But she said, all those mean things about her, and then she tried to kill herself, and she tells Alex she's sorry. And Alex tells Millie, that wasn't her fault. She gave up because she thought it would be easier. So she asks if Millie's giving up, and Millie tells Alex she's not, as strong as she is. Alex says she's not strong. She's not that strong either, but she's still here. And so they're going to get her back to her old self. And Millie says she's not sure she can go back there. And Alex says if she can, she just needs to pick a place and start. Yeah, so it's like they switch places from the very beginning of the season where Alex is introduced for the first time.
Yeah, because now Alex is a level-headed one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I bet they never would have known they would switch places like this if they were told ahead of time,
No.
Yeah. And at least somebody cares for Millie, because Brooke's over her and Victoria's starting to help her, and then Mouth is gone, so doesn't have anybody else. And then Jamie gets on stage and introduces his mom, which was cute.
Mm-hmm.
And then backstage, Julian runs into Alex. And then Alex says she knows she saw Millie and asks Julian if he's ever wanted to save somebody. And he says maybe, Of course, Alex doesn't know that he wants to save her. But Alex says she knows you can't. That's what she learned in rehab. She's good at helping herself now, but she has to get back out there to be around everything that tempts her and then to be okay with things that she can't have. And to be okay with people staring at her scars. Yeah, so they were indirectly, talking about each other. Like, Julian wants to save her, Alex wants him, but can't. And then to help her too, he gives her his watch. It's like a really thick band as well. Looks like a bracelet of some kind at first. And then that's really only going to cover up one of her wrists as well, but it's still, sweet that he did that for her.
I just thought it was funny when she said, I can Dr. Phil myself until I'm blue and I'm blue. It was funny.
Mm-hmm. And then Millie is at the store when Victoria asks her if she can help her or if she'll help herself. And Millie asks if the job is still open, so Victoria tells her she doesn't like to be made a fool of, so she better not screw this up. She can begin tonight. And apparently Calliope, did a horrible job with the filing system. And tells Millie to get back to work. Because, it was nice how Victoria said that Calliope is no Millicent. She really does
like her.
Yeah. And then Quinn tells Clay no matter how many times she sees her sister perform, she's still blown away. And Clay says that the James girls are pretty amazing. And Clay asks whatever happened to Bobby, and Quinn says it's a long story, but includes Taylor.
Yep.
Of course. And then Nathan walks over, making Quinn.
Yeah, and they stop holding hands. That was funny.
Mm-hmm.
And he even sees it.
Yeah. So Nathan actually talked to him, and once Quinn's out of earshot, Nathan tells him that
he just wanted to talk to his friend.
Yeah. And to stop being weird with Quinn in front of him, it's awkward. Yeah. So, but Nathan's also been acting weird a bit too, so it's kind of on both of them. But
well, it's because I think they want to be friends. They just don't know how to get there.
Mm-hmm. So Quinn is by herself, and Jamie rolls up, taking her picture. And she says she saw him dancing during the show, and how good dancing runs in the family. And she does like a little move, making Jamie ask, really, because his mom said she can't dance. And then, Jamie says how he's had fun on the tour, but he's missed home, and he forgot how awesome his life is. And then
I liked when he said that, like, he missed his like it was fun for the summer, but he missed his friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so at least he knows to stay grounded. And then Haley's singing again elsewhere. Brooke finds Julian when Alex comes walking up to hand him something to drink, and Alex
and it's like, there it is.
Yep, Alex understands now from Brooke's perspective finally, and walks away to let her and Julian talk. So Brooke tells Julian she's been trying to get past him and the Alex thing, and how they're there together. Of course, they're always together. So Julian says, he just bumped into her tonight. They didn't go there together. And Brooke says, of course. And this makes Julian mad, throwing his drink to his side and says it's always about Alex, and tells Brooke to let it go.
Well, of course it is.
Mm-hmm.
What does he really think?
Mm-hmm. So they argue that, it's not, it's not what's happening. Brooke, said she'll stop it when he stopped acting like it's in her head. And they just go back and forth. And then Brooke mentions about the hospital, how she saw Julian being there with Alex holding her hand and everything. And Julian tells her, Alex tried to kill herself. He's her friend, so of course he was there for her. And Brooke says, it was more than that. She was there, she saw it. And Julian points out that he's in Tree Hill for her and it's not good enough. And she just keeps waiting for the other shoe to drop. And Brooke says, she doesn't want to fight. She just wanted to talk. And Julian says, yeah, they're fighting. And he's tired of it. And then tells Brooke maybe she's right, that he's the guy who saves people. That's his issue. But he's also the guy who loves her. And the guy who pushed her away when she, and he's the guy that she pushed away when she found out that she couldn't have kids. He's a guy she can trust no matter what. And that's her issue.
I don't think she pushed him away.
Yeah.
He was with Alex again.
Mm-hmm.
And when she told him, remember, he then went to tell Alex. It's like,
right.
It always goes back to Alex, and it wasn't Brooke's fault. So,
mm-hmm. Yeah, so he tells her they just need to work on themselves. She's got the new line, and he's making a movie with Alex again. Always, he just keeps mentioning working with Alex too much too.
Exactly. Like, why are you throwing it in her face that I'm gonna go do a movie with Alex? Like, right, we get it. We know who your number one clearly is.
Mm-hmm. And this all seemed to happen before Haley was even finished with that song. And Clay manages to tell Quinn things when they're fine now, so they figured that out. And also that he told him to be good to her, but he thinks he can handle that. And Quinn asks if he's sure because she can be a handful. She can't dance. And she gets things wrong all the time, like kissing on the first date. She was wrong. So they kiss just as Haley finishes the song finally. That seems to have lasted like 10 minutes. And then we do get to see like a cool shot of Clay and Quinn kissing in front of the falling sparks. Which was something because they were surrounded by people 1 second and the next they were alone,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's still a cool shot. And then Chuck tells his mom, tells Jamie's mom that she did really well. And Jamie asks what they're doing there, and that's when Nathan reminds Jamie that he was the one that wanted to give his friends a backstage pass.
And they're really gonna go backstage now that the show's over.
Yeah, maybe it was like a last minute thing to get them there. Yeah,
like they weren't there for the beginning.
Yeah, Nathan probably didn't get the idea until after he talked with Jamie, and probably took a while to get the kids' parents' permission and all that handled.
I don't know. It just seemed like they just randomly showed up. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, but either way, all the kids are there to be happy, or all the kids are happy to be there, and Andre says he loves the free food, while Chuck says he likes the hot chicks.
Yeah, of course.
Grown women. And Jamie tells Nathan thanks, for doing this for him. He's glad to be home. And Haley's ready to lay down in bed with Nathan, but he reminds her that she has an encore to do first. So Millie is still at work when she gets a text from McKenna asking if she's coming to the party tonight, of course.
And Victoria is watching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Victoria.
And she's like, will we be seeing you tomorrow?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Reminding her that this is her last chance. And then while Haley is performing her encore, Taylor shows up backstage.
Yeah, and surprises Nathan.
Mm-hmm.
And she's throwing it again that she slept with him and all of this and how, she was the first and all this and
Mm-hmm. Yep, so Nathan nor Haley knows that she's there. And then she asks if there's room in that big superstar house for her and her boy, unless she can think of somebody else who wants to sneak in her room. So
that's what I mean. She's just always throwing it back to that part.
Yeah, and he doesn't say anything. She walks away. Elsewhere, Clay and Quinn get back to the house, Nathan and Haley's house, and she asks, isn't he glad that they already did the whole first date kiss thing, because now they don't have to be nervous about it. And then that's when he hands her the same kind of note that Bobby gave her before. Will you be my girlfriend? Yes, maybe, no. And she laughs and says maybe in a kiss. And then she says yes. And Haley's still singing, so I guess they got back before the show was even over. But Julian then walks Alex to her hotel room, or at least that's what she thinks he's doing. But he says
he's just looking for a room.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
And then,
weird because wouldn't you then be at the front desk and have her walk away and then you go get a room? Like it does seem like you're walking her to her room.
yeah, well, I thought he already got the room. He was just, walking into the
That's
same
what
hall.
I don't know. It just was weird. Like, why are you still walking her? Like,
Yeah.
it did seem weird.
hmm And then she looks down at the watch on her wrist that he gave her and then asks how did they get the funding for the movie because it was like really convenient, the timing of it. So Julian answers that they found a small production company, but she knows that's a lie. So then
Yep.
he admits that it's him and his father that put up the money. And Julian says he did because he believes in her.
Which is weird because do you really feel like his father would do that? Especially because remember he did say like Alex is a washed up actress. So I would think that he would not be on board. Plus he somewhat likes Brooke now, the dad. So I really wouldn't think that he would be on board with this.
Right. Yeah.
Because also what kind of credibility is it going to be for him to get another job as in the dad if he's taking on this one?
Yeah, well, the only thing I could think of, maybe with how the press works, is that unfortunately Alex's attempt would make publicity for the movie, so people would maybe want to watch Alex in it more.
Yeah, but like look at the Blake and Justin, like who actually wants to watch that?
Well, a lot of people seem to.
I don't know, because I've seen a lot of people say nope, they're not because of the whole thing. Like they've
Yeah,
kind of ruined the movie. So yeah.
Yeah, some people don't really care what's going on with the actors, they don't have that attachment to it. And Jamie is on stage singing with Haley now, ending the encore together, which was cute. And then the doorbell rings, and when Quinn answers it, it's David, and Haley's thrown off, not expecting him, but invites him in. And just then Taylor walks in, so Haley introduces her to David, Quinn's ex-husband, and Taylor then says,
And she said ex-husband is so yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer to call him my new boyfriend.
Yep, and kisses him in front of everybody.
Yep, so annoying.
Asks which room is theirs.
Neither. I would be like, that's when you go to a hotel because no, Quinn is staying here.
Mm-hmm. And then Millie gets back to the apartment while Mouth is waiting for her. They smile at each other. And then Julian is looking at a picture of him and Brooke and then puts it in a drawer, making it seem like he's done with the relationship as well. Meanwhile, Brooke ends up at Alexander's hotel room asking if he still wants that dinner, because he's upset about Julian. And then it ends at that.
Yep. So for me, the high was I liked watching Haley perform and like seeing Nathan and Jamie supportive and happy about that. Because remember, it's always been about basketball. And then I also liked Victoria giving Millie a chance. Because that's just not like her.
Right.
How about you?
Yeah, the high was definitely Victoria's seemingly to have a heart now and helping Millie out. And then the low was just the whole arguments between Julian and Brooke.
Oh yeah, my low. Yeah, definitely. Definitely Julian, 100% was my low.
Yeah. And then rating?
Yes, I would rate this an 8. I liked it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, 8.
And then who was your best and worst?
My best was Victoria just because she was willing to give Millie a chance at being the assistant again at Close River Bros after the whole DUI and everything and her drug problem. And then the worst, I didn't like how Taylor came in and just kind of ruined everybody's mood at the house, but I also didn't like Julian either, arguing with Brooke about Alex and just, like you said, just playing in her face all the time. And yours?
Yeah, the worst, Julian.
Definitely
the worst. The best, definitely Victoria.
Yeah.
Definitely weird that she's the best.
Yeah, I feel like this might be like one out of the 2 times we'll probably say that.
Yeah. Because I do feel like there's maybe like one other episode where she probably would be the best.
Yeah, I think when she talks to Haley, I think that's the only other time I can think of at the top of my head.
Yeah. All right. And then what is the next episode?
Episode 14, Family Affair, which is very fitting with the way Taylor just walked in like that with David.
Yeah. Yeah. This is my new boyfriend.
Yep. Like nothing.
Here's more drama.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go. The Scots finally get more drama.
Yep.
As if they haven't had enough.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, but we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Duo Chat. If you want to chime in with your opinion about the episode and the show we discussed, you can email us at duochatpodcast@gmail.com. And to keep up with updates about the podcast, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube at Duo Chat Podcast. And give us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. We would appreciate it.